Hey, what's up? I'm at the Academy of Scholarship and Entrepreneurship with my team. We're here for Career Day, here to talk to the youths and give them something I didn't receive when I was their age. So come with me and let's enjoy the show. I'm here with you guys because at your age, I wish I had somebody to come to me in school and share something different, right? Like I went to South Shore High School in Brooklyn, New York. I didn't really have, no one came in ever. I didn't even know there was a thing called Career Day back in that day. Well, I was not too long ago. I ain't too old. But no one came to like say, oh, you can be talk to me that I was an actor or an author or a speaker, that I was able to, to cling on to and say, oh, okay, I could actually do that too, right? So at that age, and I'm speaking to certain mentors I have, I said, I also work with kids that were locked up, juvenile, we called them troubled youths, right? So from that environment, I realized a lot of things could have been assisted by somebody just stepping in and intervention at an early age to share their experiences coming up. So this is why I'm back here today, just giving back in that capacity of saying, okay, well, I was where you were not too long ago, and this is the person that I would have liked to see, black, different hue, black, brown, white, to come in and share their story, the things they've experienced, and how they're doing what they're doing, and how did they get there. So, instead of just talking, I like to show the things that I've done, so it makes it more real, right? If I say I'm an actor, I should be able to show you something of me acting. Being one of the best bunters in baseball.
Breaking the color barrier.
You know, when I broke into the league, I wondered how I could show everyone I was a team player. Well, I bunted 46 times that season, all before resulting in a base hit or a sacrifice.
So now the thing is, how did I get here, right? What was the process for me, right? I performed at the Delacorte Theater in Central Park in front of within a month, all together collectively in front of 40,000 people doing Shakespeare. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis noble in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outraged fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing and what did I just say? A whole bunch of fancy stuff, right? But so how did I get there? What was that process for me? So I was born in Jamaica, lived there for 30, clap once if you can hear me. Clap 2 times if you can hear me. Thank you. So how did I get there, right? I was born in Jamaica, lived there until I was 13. It's all right. Take your time. Finish that up. I'm gonna give you your time. Finish that up real quick. No, I'm actually giving you your time. Say what you need to say.
All right.
The last is out.
You cool? We cool? All right. I want to respect you. If you want to talk to him, I want to give you that time, and then I'll give you my time. So I'm always gonna respect your time. If you want to speak, just let me know, and I'll give you that time so you can say what you need to say. So, all right. How did I get here? So I grew up in Jamaica, lived there for 13 years before migrating to New York. Right? When I got to New York, my siblings, my mother and my sisters, we lived with my father for about a year until he kicked us out. So he kicked my moms out, my sisters first, and then I was the last one. I'm like, all right, cool, he ain't finna kick me out. And a little bit after a while, I got the boot. I said, okay, cool, let me go live with my mother. So now I'm with my mother now. Remember, we just came to the country. We still within that year. It ain't past that year yet. We just got here. So now I go to my mother's house, still new. I had to find my way there. So I pack up. He told me to get out. I packed my stuff up. I had my Nintendo 64 with me at that time. I don't know if y'all even know what that is no more. So I had my Nintendo 64. So he snatches and said, "Why are you taking this game with you?" and throws it in the closet. Now that's my favorite game. I love that game. Right? My mom bought it for me. So I walk out. All right, whatever, man. You already kicked me out. I'm out. We go to my mom's house. So I go to a payphone, call my mother. She answers. She's like, "He did what?" I said, "Yeah, he kicked me out." She's like, "Where is he?" He was following behind me. But I'm done. I'm over it now because you already kicked me out. Well, I'm talking to you, boyfriend. So she said, "Give him the phone." So I give him the phone, and she says whatever he says to him, but it's already said and done, right? So now I'm going to my mom's house. I got to figure out my way to get there. So I finally get there. I walk through the door. It's a studio apartment. I was 4 of us in there. When I walk in the apartment, it's literally, I kid you not, this size right here. From here to here, I walk in. There's the door right here. I walk in. That's the kitchen right in front of me, right there. It's the bathroom right over there. The fridge is right there. And back out, that's the exit right there. The bed, our bed is right. See the door right here? So say the bed is right here. So that was a rude awakening, right? Coming from Jamaica and coming here, getting kicked out. At 13, it's like, okay, cool. I saw my mom, she's struggling, figuring out, it's 4 of us living in there, you know what I mean? So, you know, if anybody even crack a fart, you smelling it. There's no escaping, there's no escaping that. So it's like, okay, I had 2 choices, right? I had some friends, I made some friends during that time. I could be like, you know what, life is a mess, let me go ahead and, you know, I was in junior high, let me go play the streets like, the guys I know. Or give my mother more headache than what she has to figure out. Or I could say, all right, let me just focus on the school thing. I see her trying, she's trying. Let me give her that respect of saying, you know what, Mom? I see what you're doing. I know it's rough for you too. Let me come out here and make it happen for myself as well. So I went through junior high, 1 year at junior high, I went to high school. High school got a little boring for me, so I said, let me load up on these classes and get up out of here. I saw the people around me, a lot of the people I was in class with, it was either jokers, some of them, just playing around 24/7, or some just really, really disrespectful. So I'm like, this ain't really my environment. You gotta find your environment so you can flourish, right? So I said, let me get out of here. So I stacked up in high school. There was times they give me a full schedule, I had no lunch. I ain't telling nobody. You gotta have a lunch period in high school. So throughout those 7 periods, 8 periods, I loaded up with classes, and it wasn't until the middle of the semester they called me like, hey, you didn't realize you ain't have a lunch period? I said, no, I ain't realize. I was supposed to have one? I'm playing stupid, you know what I mean? But it was already too late for him to drop the class, it was already halfway through. So that led me, doing that and taking night school, put me towards, so I graduated early. So now I'm out of high school 1 year early. I decided, okay, what can I do now? I see my mom still trying to figure it out. So we went from the studio apartment to a 2-bedroom apartment, and then eventually after I finished high school and going on to college, my first year of college, she bought her first house. This is in 7 years. She wasn't playing. So me seeing that, her grinding that hard, it was only right for me to go ahead and make sure I get right? So as I saw her doing that, I said, okay, let me go ahead and do this college thing. So I did my bachelor's in biology. So after I finished my bachelor's in biology, I said, all right, I see everybody around me doing the same thing. Some of my friends were got pregnant, now they working this job. Now they're just going through the cycle of getting up, going to work, and doing the same thing over and over again. I said, I ain't really want that for myself, but I didn't know what to do differently, right? What did different look like? So I said I needed to get away. What I do, I go join the United States Air Force, right? So it was the hardest thing to do, because if you know the Air Force is one of the top branches. So it's not as easy to get in as everybody else. So when I'm calling around, I call the Air Force, ain't nobody answering. I call the Army office, I say, hey, I just finished my bachelor's in biology, I'd love to join. He said, oh, of course, man, I'll come pick you up. I looked at the phone like, man, that's too easy. Let me hang it up. Something ain't too right over there. I went back to the Air Force. I don't know what's wrong with me. I guess I like doing things the hard way. So I go back, I call nothing. I said, all right, since you won't keep me here, I'm gonna call over in Staten Island, see if there's a recruiter in Staten Island. I call Staten Island, finally somebody picks up. I said, okay. I said, hey, I'm trying to get in, man. I was talking to this recruiter in Brooklyn, but he don't seem like he never come to work. He was like, okay, cool, no worries. I'll figure it out for you. So then he calls the recruiter in Brooklyn and tells him, if you don't sign him, I will, and take away your recruit. So then he finally decides to come to work and get what he needs to get done. So I do it. I'm in the Air Force now. I go to basic training. Cool, basic training is all right. It was more annoying than anything else, because I was always into fitness, so the running and lifting was no problem. The only thing that annoyed me was the constant yelling. I'm like, why are you yelling, man? Okay, cool, you gotta do your job, I get it. So let me fall in line and just keep my head down and get through this. So I get through that. Now I go to basic training. My job is a weapons loader. So I was working with the F-16. It's a fighter jet. I was loading bombs on the F-16. So I was loading bombs, missiles, and ammunition. I was doing that for the better part for 3.5 years. So once I finished training, I said, all right, I'm going to Germany. Because a friend of mine from Jamaica told me he was in Germany, so I was like, all right, you know what? Let me go to Germany too. But honestly, I ain't know it ain't really work like that. You gotta fill out this thing called a dream sheet, And if they need you out there, you'll get that duty station. So I fill it out. I put nothing but Germany. I ain't put nothing else on there because I was determined that's where I was gonna go. Nothing, not the smartest thing in the world, but whatever. So I fill it out, and then the time comes in tech school, 2 weeks after I fill it out, they pull us all in a room, somewhat like this, and we sitting down, and the instructor's in front, and he calling out our assignment. James, Eglin Air Force Base, Florida. Ricky, Minot,